I'm Tata Babs.
And I'm Amy Melons.
This is the Booby Trap Podcast. Wine, films, murder.
Trap. Big, beautiful booby trap.
With this podcast, we delve into the world of classic crime and murder films, paired with a perfect wine. Today, we're delving into the suspenseful film, Suddenly, and pairing it with the crisp acidity and citrus notes that complement the tense atmosphere and sharp dialogue of the film. So today, we're going to start off by doing a wine tasting. The wine today, the varietal that we're having is a Sauvignon Blanc. And what's kind of interesting is this grape grows in cooler climates. So it's actually primarily grown in England and Wales, which I guess is popular for sparkling wines. And then in the U.S., it's really grown over on the East Coast. So, the like New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Virginia.
Virginia.
And then surprisingly, then also the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
So, and then Canada. So sometimes it's used for ice wines. Very interesting wine, something maybe most people don't get to experience.
Okay.
The level of sweetness, it's pretty versatile. So, it can be made into dry wines. It can be made into semi-sweet styles, even dessert wines. So, like I said, ice wine in Canada. So, very interesting.
Canada.
Yeah. So, it's interesting. It's just kind of based off of like the type of style that people are interested in experimenting with, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
This sort of grape is known for high acidity, so it makes it really, ideal for sparkling wines and, something that's like nice and refreshing. So typically for this style of wine, you're going to have aromas of citrus, green apple, pear, and minerality. For the tasting flavors, lemon, grapefruit, honeydew melon, maybe even some herb or floral notes. So once again, obviously each wine is different and
Right.
You might experience some of those differently, but for this style of wine, these tend to be the sort of notes that you would experiment.
It's the COVID blend.
And then also just kind of last but not least, in terms of food pairing, so typically for Sauvignon Blanc, when we talk about like main dishes, it's really good with like light seafood, so clams, oysters, whitefish, also like chicken and summer salads, maybe some mildly spicy dishes is like maybe Thai food or Thai shrimp or something, like not extra spicy, mild spicy.
Okay.
And then for cheese pairings, nice creamy cheeses, was it Havarti? Is that Havarti? I don't know how to say that cheese name.
I think you said it just right. Because I can't say it any better.
Yeah, so that sort of cheese.
Right?
I apologize for those cheese experts out there.
Don't
write
in.
And then for desserts, usually like fruit-based desserts, so like a lemon tart or apple crumble. So I guess, like the idea of that citrus notes and the apple notes kind of pairing really well together, so complementing each other. So with that, let's talk about the wine we're having today.
Okay, today we are opening a bottle of 2020 Sauvignon Blanc, which comes from Bugatti, Bodego, and Vineyard, which is located in Northern Virginia, I believe in Berryville.
Yeah.
This is one of 3 family-owned wineries in that area, and each winery does just a bit of a different style of winemaking. So, like the wine we're having today, which is at Bugatti, they do the Argentinian. Is that a word?
Yeah. Well, that's how I say it. Argentinian.
Okay, nobody from Argentina write in, please. No writing in, period. Style wines. Verramar Vineyard, which is also a really nice place to visit, they do Italian. And James Charles Winery, they are dedicated to French style.
Yeah, so it's very interesting, like, a family, obviously 3 different vineyards, they're all part of the same family, but each one is a different style.
Exactly, yeah.
And I know, for the Bugatti ones, you like the Malbecs, and once again, it's just,
I'm very Argentinian.
Right, so it's just kind of like one of those things that's like, who knew, and it's fun to experiment with that.
Right,
so,
exactly, yeah.
We're going to go ahead and do some tasting right now with our bottle of Sauvignon Blanc from Bugatti. So as we're doing tasting, we're going to first look at the wine, then we'll smell it, and then we'll taste it. The first step is looking at the color. What color do we think this wine is?
It has kind of like a yellow green.
Yeah, like
right?
a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking kind of more straw, but like light, right?
Right.
Looks nice.
Not a dark yellow.
Right.
Just kind of but I mean, a little bit of green in there, right?
Yeah, it looks
Green?
nice.
Yeah, like yellow green.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next is smell. So I know you're gonna hand that over to me.
That's what I'm gonna do.
As I smell.
You're in charge of being smelly.
So yeah, I definitely smell some of those like more citrusy notes.
Yeah.
I was thinking like even like green apple for me, like very kind of like that crisp smell. Like I think that idea. I think earlier on I was saying like kind of summery type of salads. It's like, oh yeah, I can see where this would be very nice with that. But yeah, I think just overall it's a nice, light, refreshing smells to it. And then the next part is then taste.
All right, I can handle that.
We'll help you too. Don't worry.
Thank you. Definitely can take the citrus. Right?
Yeah.
Very, very, very citrusy, and has a very crisp finish.
You like it?
Yes, it's one of the more tart white
Yeah.
ones. So I don't know, we just say this is a white one.
Yes.
Yes. Well,
I guess we didn't say it was a white. Sorry.
See, I would. The block should have tipped me off, but
right,
yeah.
Block usually means white.
Yeah, that usually means white. Okay, yeah. Well, for the uneducated, such as myself.
Yeah, I think once again those notes of the citrus. I almost feel like a stone fruit maybe too. Honestly, like I almost feel like a nectarine or something. But I think it's like once again that like almost like summery vibes. Taking this out on the porch on a hot day just would be really refreshing.
Right.
Anyway, well, we're going to go ahead and enjoy our bottle of wine while we begin to watch the film. So once again, we're going to watch Suddenly from 1954. Cheers.
Cheers. All right, so a little background on our film today. It is Suddenly, made in 1954, directed by Lewis Allen, and just a few of the characters. Frank Sinatra stars as John Barron, a ruthless hired assassin who takes a family hostage in a small, quiet California town called Suddenly, with the intention of assassinating the President of the United States when his train stops at the town. Now, the family's home provides a perfect vantage point for Barron and his henchmen to assassinate the president. Sterling Hayden plays the Sheriff Tod Shaw, who tries to thwart the assassination plot with the help of the Secret Service. The film is known for its intense suspense and dramatic twists, and it is, in the genre, is film noir. Just kind of break down the characters. As I said, Lewis Allen was the director, and Allen directed several films in the late 1940s and the 1950s, including The Uninvited and one of my favorites, The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
So now Frank Sinatra, well known as an iconic singer, one of the crooners actually back in the 20s, 30s. Old blue eyes or brown eyes, depending on which scene you're watching today.
Yeah. Well, and that was, this film originally was black and white, and then later on, they actually did it in color.
Yeah.
Supposedly they did it with brown eyes, but he was blue-eyed, right?
Right.
So I don't know. We'll
see. We'll have to find that one out. So as you know, Sinatra besides a singing career, he was actually had a successful acting career, and he actually won an Oscar for. Do you know which film?
From Here to Eternity.
Yes, ma'am. From Here to Eternity.
If I can speak.
Yeah, and of course, he was infamous for being part of
the Rat Pack.
The Rat Pack. Yes.
And I think for the Oscar that he received, I think that was just the previous film, like the film prior to this one. So I think he had just gotten that nice Oscars, from my understanding.
Yeah? Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, that's at least my understanding. So then this is like his next film from that, and I don't know. Having seen From Here to Eternity, do you remember what he played, or
he was one of the I'm not. It gets into that almost that war genre that I don't really like. He was something or somebody. But I'll be honest. Today, I'm not. I'm gonna have to admit. I know the rolling around on the beach scene with
Right.
Was that Montgomery Cliff and Lana Turner? No, Deborah Carr.
Deborah Carr. Uh-huh.
So rolling around on the beach, I know what Frank Sinatra played. I do not know. So
the reason I was asking is I was just kind of curious if it went from like he was, a nice guy to wow, this is now a totally opposite scene.
I think he was a nice guy. Because
Yeah.
I think they mentioned part of the reason they liked this film so much with him in this film so much is it was his first turn as playing a villain.
Mm.
So I'm going to assume that he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
Because Frank Sinatra wanted to be a nice guy. Frank Sinatra is the guy everybody wants to like. So, in the audience out there, if you know what it was, either it was a nice guy or a bad guy, please feel free to break the tie between Tata and I and tell us what he was, so I don't have to watch a war movie. You'll be helping us out. Thank you very much. So on we go. So Sterling Hayden stars as Tod Shaw, the sheriff, which he was actually backdoor a World War II hero. He was a Marine, and so him playing, in a authority type position. Not a huge stretch for him.
Well, and what's interesting too is so this story actually was based on a short story by Richard Sale. So it was called Active Duty.
Right.
So originally it was published in the Blue Book of May of 1943. And that's what was adapted into the film. So that storyline was about World War II. So, obviously you have people who were fighting as part, within that war, acting as part of this film. And so what's interesting for this story of Active Duty, so that short story actually was inspired it inspired the author after having read in the newspaper an article about President Dwight D. Eisenhower traveling via train to Palm Springs, California. So that's kind of what sparked that storyline.
Right. Our particular fondness for this movie is because what's going to happen?
It's the quote. It's a big, beautiful booby trap. That's the quote that you'll hear from Frank Sinatra in his role. And, that's the clip that you'll hear for all of our podcasts. That's the one that we feature.
Right.
And it's just one of those things. And that's it kind of indicates there are some booby traps in this film. So it's just exciting for us. We like to
And feel free to take a tasting when you hear booby trap. Join in. We do a tasting, right?
Whether it's from us or from others in the movie.
So are we ready to get rolling?
Yeah, no, let's definitely do that. I think the one other thing that we just want to mention too, there is a remake actually out there.
There is. Don't ask me about everybody because I think everybody else was a nobody, but the late great Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
Reprising Frank Sinatra's role. It has to be a good movie if somebody bothered to remake it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's always the case,
but yeah.
I think it was more true, like, sometimes they'll take a movie and they'll kind of like, oh yeah, it's very loosely based on, and you're just like, please, no. Whereas I think this one seems, at least when you look at the character names, they seem to be like in alignment with what, what's from the original.
Right, exactly. All right.
Well, as you're getting that kind of
fired up and ready to go,
one thing I did want to mention, which was kind of interesting actually. So we were kind of talking about, was Frank a good guy or a bad guy before this film?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the things is, because it was one of his kind of earlier dramatic roles, and it was, I think, once again you mentioned like it was like his first time he was this villainous character.
Mm-hmm.
So supposedly he was so intense in this performance as this like cold-hearted assassin.
Uh-huh.
It actually kind of not only showed his versatility, but also I think it also it made it so he was like so convincing as part of this role that when JFK was assassinated in 1963, they were actually pulling this film temporarily from circulation. And part of it was because not only the plot of involving an assassination attempt of the president, but also supposedly Lee Harvey Oswald watched the film a few days before the assassination of JFK. And what's kind of interesting is Frank Sinatra was very much a friend of JFK.
Right.
So it's also kind of a weird, you know, it's kind of an interesting where it has, he's this ruthless assassin, and yet he was also very much personally friends with an actual U.S. president.
Yeah, and I wonder if he struggled with that at all.
Yeah, that is interesting.
With that.
I mean, obviously, it's like what, about 10 years between, or maybe more, but still, I mean, it's something that the fact that people were pulling that off distribution. So obviously, it was in the news. People were talking about it. So obviously, that would be he would be aware of that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting.
So we're going to go ahead and watch the film. If you're interested in joining us as we watch and comment on the film suddenly, check out our accessory reel, which is a bonus companion track. Otherwise, continue with us as we provide a few snippets from the film and then discuss criminal themes that we identified throughout the film Suddenly from 1954.
What town is this?
Suddenly.
Suddenly what?
No, that's the name.
It's a funny name for a town.
Uh-huh.
Isn't it a beauty?
Don't be funny. This is police business. Secret Service? I get it. They're shipping the national debt through here in gold bars.
You sure you know what you're doing?
Ellen, please.
I know, but it says on the back of that there are 5,000 volts, and that's dangerous.
I'm John Barnes, special agent. It'd be obvious to you that if anybody wanted to kill the president, he could do a beautiful job of it right from the window of yours. We got just 3 seconds to nail the president.
You're a born killer.
And we've rolled the credits. A lot of layers there, right?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
A lot of layers. So I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts. So that's it for today. And so it's a very unique entry into the film noir.
Yeah.
You didn't have the shadows, the typical dread, but it was very much into the crime noir, right?
I felt like it was more like the facial, his, like I said, there was that weird thing where he went from one persona to another persona.
Right.
From
He
one
looked
scene
very
to the next.
menacing. He looked
Absolutely.
looked very,
and I think,
very menacing.
that's sometimes what it's like. Sometimes where it's like the shadowing and you just see the eyes, right? His eyes look cold. If you just saw his eyes, even just from that little like kind of rectangular view, it would be, you feel some nervousness going on, right?
Yeah, and so and when he did that, were his eyes brown or blue? Because it was.
I felt like, so supposedly they say that they're brown, but I guess technically he had blue eyes, and we were watching the colored version. I don't know. I think it eventually was like, it looked like Hazel maybe.
Yeah, old Hazel eyes.
I think it kind of looked like it was flipping back and forth, but there were some weird things, like I was saying, the hands look weird, like the shading or something. Once again, they're like adding color to the picture later on.
Yeah.
So it's, it's not something where, they're using colored film to film this.
I've seen it both ways. I like the black and white version better, just because if it's going to be, if it's a crime film noir, then I want to see black and white. Yeah. This Ted Turner version of it. Because let's face it, color has been an option for a very, very, and films were an option for a very, very long time. Obviously, it was a little more expensive, but you had Technicolor and all that. But this isn't holding, didn't really hold up that well. There was some green. People looked a little green in places, a little pink in places.
Well, even like her makeup and that, things were like.
Her rouge didn't even come through at all.
Well, no, I agree. I did enjoy the black and white version more. I think, honestly, it was almost more distracting with the color, because, like I said, it was like their hands were looking all like weird shades. Like, are they wearing gloves? Like, what's going on?
Right.
And it was like distracting you from the actual film itself.
So as any good film noir, it is a lot to unpack. So I think we definitely want to hear what other people's thoughts are on this.
Oh, absolutely.
Love to hear from anybody. See, did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you like this film genre? Why not? Why do you? Why don't you? and just what did you see that we didn't see? Because there is a lot of foreshadowing. Said it a couple of times. There is layering over other things. So let us know. I think we've had our time for today.
I think overall, like, we enjoyed the movie more than we thought we were gonna do, right?
And it had some comical moments that I don't think it was meant to have. And during in future episodes, we're going to be watching some purposely comical movies.
Yes.
And I will always harken back to, I don't think you like me very much, do you?
Right.
So on the note of of the top 10, what are the top 10 most stupid questions you've ever heard? We've got one. Give us the 9 others.
Yeah.
Is that it for us?
I think so. I think that's everything for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and definitely join us for our future classic crime film and perfect wine pairings. So definitely be sure to check us out on our previous episodes on the Booby Trap podcast. You can ask Siri, Alexa, or Google for quick access. We're found on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and more. And then obviously please follow us, interact with us on Instagram, X, which is formerly Twitter, and Facebook platforms. So until next time,
cheers!
Cheers!